Hello, hello. Well, that is good morning. Good morning, everybody. How you doing? What do you think after seeing uh the lineup and everything? That's it's the we when we did the lineup yesterday, it's pretty close to what we thought what I said we should do. I think I said it's actually almost exactly what I said we should do. I feel like we're missing one person. No, I think this is exactly what I said. I think at the end of the stream yesterday, I was saying well, this is probably what we'll end up doing. But the it's the bench is pretty scary, isn't it? But hey, we have to trust the youth today. We have to trust the youth today. Yoro's fine. Yoro's fine. I heard yesterday he was a Ericsson, you're right. You're right. Ericsson is out. I said Ericsson in the front, but I said you could put like Hoyland there too, right? And Euro, but I don't really care the Delict, Mazraoui, Maguire, whatever. It's all good. But honestly, yeah, like I heard yesterday that Euro was a doubt, and it was like it's nothing serious. Honestly, it's one of those times where, like I said yesterday, it feels like it's an experiment. You know what I mean? Like when it rains, it pours. Like we've got a couple like really minor injuries, right? Like Ugarte, Collier, little minor things. Okay. You've got Mainu out for a few weeks. Then you've got Ahmad out for the season, which is really bad. But it's like a lot of these are little things outside of Ahmad on their own. It's really little. But then you get Ericsson sick, Bayindir ill, has been ill, Yoro ill, and it's like it just like it's just like all at once. It just everything happens now. Um, so it is what it is. But we've got the youth. I mean, let's take a look at this. Let's take a look at this. Take a look at this lineup here. I mean, when we look at this, for me, when I look at this, okay, the lineup itself isn't bad. Mazraoui, Delict, Maguire, that's fine. Yeah, it's early in the morning for me, Aki. I mean, I didn't just wake up, but it's early. Um, right. The starting lineup ain't bad. What I look at here, right, with the starting lineup is that it's not that bad. We need some people to actually play football, though. Like, what? That was kind of my point yesterday, where I was getting like a little annoyed. Is I look at this and I was like, all right, so this I liked. This we talked about doing this, and I think this is good. Um, get Garnacho and Hoyland as runners besides Xerxes, right? So you've got Xerxes that can kind of drop in, get Hoyland and Garnacho running by them, right? Okay. Um, and I look at that and I think like, you know, 100% blame Ten Hag for injuries. The fact that Kabi Mainu can't stay healthy anymore probably has something to do with how he was played under Ten Hag, who still trained this team up until 3 months ago. Amad Diallo got his ankle injury before Ruben Amorim arrived and has been dealing with it for some time. So any actual injuries are still a lot of them tied to past incidents, and the other things are just illnesses. But I like this now. But it's like, look, I was saying yesterday, it's time for Xerxes to like show up. I mean, he scored a goal against Leicester. I think he's played some really good games recently. It's time for Xerxes to prove it. He's a good footballer. We got to expect him to play some football. And Garnacho, same goes for him. People didn't want to sell him. That he's a good asset. Um, that he's a good product, that he's got intensity. He's played well when he's come on recently. So he needs to come on. He needs to come on and play. He needs to do a good job. He needs to actually like produce something. You know, he needs to get something going. Um, and show that, as a starter. Like if he's this good young talent, I think he is. I think he's done really well recently. Well, now's the time to prove it. And Rasmus Højlund, he's got to play. He just has to play better than he has. He just has to. He just absolutely has to play better than he has, right? Um, I think that this is okay. It's not the. It's obviously like this has some defensive frailties. but it probably has better on ball. I know the defensive frailty in the midfield here is probably the scariest part of this game. That's probably the part that worries me more than anything else, right? Is the defensive speed, and awareness right here. No, I think that Xerxes, Garnacho, Højlund is a better front three than we've been putting out the last 4 or 5 games. Xerxes should have been starting. Xerxes should have been starting anyway, and he hasn't been. Well, now he is. That's good. This is a better front three than we've been putting out. Just for, I think, poor choices, frankly. But we don't have a great front three regardless, because most of our best games have come with Ahmad in the wing back position. So it's not that different. So I guess it is what it is. But Xerxes playing in the 10. Xerxes will be playing probably at striker. Xerxes will be playing probably at striker. So that's okay. Manu out for the season with a muscle injury? Are you sure he didn't just misspeak? Ugarte has a knock. He'll be back. Did he just misspeak or is Kavi also out for the season? Because that is pretty bad. Yeah, that sucks. That is unfortunate. But I gotta tell you, I mean, damn, I gotta tell you, one of the things that was when we were talking about Manu's contract a couple months ago, one of the things I mentioned is that there was a concern that he was a bit injury prone. And that was one of the things that they had is he played less than 50% of the minutes over the last year and a half. And they wanted to see him stay healthy. And he's got injured again for the rest of the season. There is a bit of a concern. I mean, Manu had some injury issues even at the youth level that he hasn't grown out of. Yeah, Kabi Manu being injury prone. He has been. He had some injury problems even at the youth level. I mean, that's kind of normal for young players to pick up a fair bit of injuries, but he was injured for half of his first season and then 2 or 3 months to this season. And now he's injured again. That is a bit tough. Yeah, and his minutes have been managed this year pretty well too since coming back. But he did get run into the ground last season, and it's the start of this season, no doubt about that. And I worry about the long-term effects of that. Definitely worry about the long-term effects of that. But that's concerning for sure. Yeah, apparently. I mean, the reports we got were just a few weeks on Manu, but the other injuries are minor. The other injuries are minor. Ugarte and Collier, like I said, they'll be back like next week. Ugarte's was just a knock, but correction. United clarify that Amarim says Ahmad out for the season. I hold on a second, okay? Hold on a second. Let's hold the phone on this Manu out for the season thing. This might be fake news. Yeah, hold on. This might be fake news. Chris Wheeler put out a correction. He says United clarified that Amarim says Ahmad probably out for the season, still waiting for an update on Manu. So this might be fake news. I think we might be I think this was a hold on a sec. No, he's not out for the season. This was fake news. This was fake news, guys. This was fake news. Okay? Manu is not out for the season. This was poorly quoted. Poorly. Oh yeah. That is that is dangerous, man. Holy, you saying shit like that then. It'd be very good news if it's just a couple of weeks for Manu like we heard originally. Broken telephone. When are you gonna understand Kone over Mainu? I rate what Kone can do pretty highly. But I can't think you can say that until someone plays first team minutes. Regardless, we have to definitely have Ugarte was a kick. So like I said, Ugarte, I think I mentioned this, it was a collision, but Mainu is fine. Collier will be fine. Ugarte will be back next week. The only serious injury we did pick up this week was definitely Ahmad. Yeah, I see that, Amy. Thank you. The only serious injury picked up this week was Ahmad. Mainu will be back. Ahmad injured himself. So yeah, it's not the training methods, is it? But I'm telling you, Ahmad has had this ankle injury for a while. And that was a concern I mentioned yesterday. Like, ankle surgeries are dangerous, but they probably are just going to shut him down and let him heal up, because he's had this ankle injury for about 4 or 5 months now, if I'm not mistaken. And it's kind of been fading in and out, playing through it here and there. I think he like didn't start 1 or 2 games because of it, even under Amram's time. Is he getting surgery? I don't know. Did they say is there anything on that? Because he's had this ankle injury for a while. Ab said he's getting surgery. I mean, that's good then, because he's had this injury for a while. He's been carrying it. Yeah, he's been carrying it. So if he can, that's good news, because he needs to get this fixed, whatever it is. I'm 100% blaming the previous administration. That's how it works. Fabrizio said so. He did say surgery. He would know. Fabrizio's good sources on Ahmad's side. If he says he's getting surgery, that's good news. He needs it because he's had this for a while. He's had this ankle issue with the ligament for a while. So hopefully because he got injured in preseason, didn't he? Or he picked up a knock even in preseason or something at one point this well. Honestly, like, yeah, or Yara will be back next week. Eriksson will be back next week. Ugarte will be back next week. Collier will be back next week. Main will be back in 2 or 3 weeks. Last season, didn't Ahmad have a knee injury the first half of the year? Something like that. So we've literally had, again, we're talking about non-contact soft tissue muscle injuries, which doesn't apply to Ugarte or anybody like that. But it does apply to Mainu. It does apply to Mainu. Last time we won Europa, we had 10 players on crutches. That's true. That was a pretty funny, that image back in the day. It's pretty funny of all those players standing on crutches. I know that's yeah. No, it's fake. It's fake. Unless the Mainu thing was fake news, guys. Just to be very, very clear, okay? Just to be very, very clear. Hold on a second. Just to be very, very clear, it's not. That was corrected, and he's not out for the season. Okay? Mainu is not out for the season. All right? To be very, very clear for anybody who's here now, the injuries are this. No, he's not. He's not. Just to be very clear, we just went through this. It's already been corrected. Ahmad is out for the season. Mainu felt something and has a small muscular injury. Collier felt something. He'll be back shortly. Ugarte got kicked. He has a small knock. He'll be back this week. Yoro is ill. He'll be back this week. Eriksson is ill. He'll be back this week. There's nothing else. Okay. That's the situation with everybody. That's the situation with everybody as at what actually is going on. Okay. So that's all. Okay. Everything else is crazy. Okay. Everything else is crazy. All right. Let's get back to the lineup. Obviously we've got this. I hope we will see. Well, he did clarify in terms of the quote that Mainu felt something, and that's just a minor injury. And he said Ahmad got injured on his own. I don't know what that means. Does that mean it's not he didn't even get injured in training? He got injured like walking, like falling down the stairs or something? Because that can happen with ankle injuries, unfortunately. And that would explain why he might need a surgery. Like if you have a bad ankle, you can just like step off the curb and your ankle goes if the ligament is bad. So that would actually explain a lot, unfortunately, why he does need the surgery in that case. Um, I'm putting him on the left out of the hope that he plays on the left. um, that being said, um, you know what's kind of funny, right? Yeah, rolled his ankle probably. You think it's Xerxes? I mean, it'll be that way anyway because there's no way that Xerxes going to be the guy. Like, there's no way Xerxes going to be the guy pushing up here while Hoyland is coming short. You know what I mean? Just naturally. Um, yeah, he means he rolled it not from a tackle or whatever, right? So he rolled it and he said on his own. So it's not even a training injury. So again, like talking about narratives and all of that. Once the truth comes out, Ugarte got kicked. Ahmad rolled his ankle randomly on his own. There's like one muscle injury this week. That's Kabi Menu. One. But this is United, right? We get one muscle injury and somehow Ahmad hurts himself on his own. Not blaming him, it happens. Ahmad hurts himself. Ugarte gets kicked. And two players are sick. Like, this is United, man. It's a cursed institution. we are a cursed institution. There's no doubt about it. But yeah, look, I think naturally there's no way Hoyland's dropping deep and Xerxes pushing the back line, right? You're gonna have Xerxes always comes deep naturally. So whatever way that it works, however they're positioned, it kind of doesn't matter. You know, it'll be Xerxes dropping in, just has to be, right? The other thing that's funny is like we had a lot of good games, are some of our best games with Ahmad on the right. So if that's Dorgu on the right now and Dallo on the left, it's basically the same. It's basically the same as Dallo. Who kicked Ugarte? Probably the guy taking his place right now. The old Casemiro, you know what I'm saying? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Um But, so Dorgu on the right, Dallo on the left would be about the same as when we had Ahmad over there. I imagine we're going to get Mazraoui on the left, although that might make it a good time to put him behind Dorgu. Delict. That worries me a little bit, the lack of pace on the side. Collier will be back, though. Collier will be back. Just to be Yeah, Dorgu's a little more powerful, but not as skillful. Different skill set for sure. Like a little bit of a. But I'd like to see this. This isn't a bad lineup. Like if Ugarte was fit, you'd put him in here. Other than that, you like it's Ugarte and Ahmad, right? And then Delict isn't like Delict. Like I said, I don't care. When you take Euro, Delict, Maguire, Mazraoui, you swap them any way you want. It doesn't bother me. I need to put disclaimers. So yeah, I know. Have to. But look, this is cool. This is fine. I'm okay with this lineup. I think it's got a shot. I mean, I think it's got a shot. Um um he's got a shot. So we'll see, I don't fuck. But it's an opportunity. That's how I see it. It's an opportunity. I will say this, right? Casemiro's on-ball qualities, his passing range is better than Ugarte's. So, you know, but look, it's like we were saying, right? Xerxes a good footballer. He's got to show that today. Like this is where I kind of am at on it is like we know there's a lot of players who aren't going to be here for the long term, right? But there's also a lot of footballers in here who just need to step up, honestly. Like be a professional. You know what I mean? Be a fucking professional today. Casemiro, Dallo, be a professional. The front three, yes, they're young. Yes, they're all of that. But we've played, we've had players step up in times when we haven't been good, young players in forward positions in non-ideal situations and help us many, many, many times over the years. Many times over the years. And so it's time for some of these players to step up. Garnacho needs to step up. Yeah, Casemiro's a more dynamic passer, but not safer and not as reliable. Um, uh, but it's like, come on, like it is time for some of these young guys to step up, and do something. Honestly, Yoro's ill, or he was ill and he's not back fit enough to play today. But yeah, Garnacho, Højlund, Xerxes, it's time for them to step up. I think Xerxes has recently. I think Garnacho has recently. So a lot of them, they just do a damn good job today. Just do a good job. But then the positive as well, is that off of the bench, what can we see here today? We've got Eli Harrison, the goalkeeper. Well, he'll probably won't come on. Harry Amos, could he come on at fullback if Dorgu can't make it 90 minutes? Probably less likely. Probably less likely. Aiden Heaven coming on for a center back. I think that has a serious chance. He's a player who's been training at a senior level for a long time. I say a long time relative to these other 15-year-olds. Yeah, the season became stale and Rashford broke through. Rashford, Martial, Greenwood, they were young and they kicked on and they made it happen. I think Aiden Heaven has a good chance of coming on. I think that Kone has a very good chance of coming on for Casemiro at some point as well. And then I think, Jack Morehouse, or is it Jack Moore? Am I confusing? Also Jack, or am I mixing him up with Fletcher? Morehouse and has a good chance of coming on. I'd be surprised if Obi does. But I think Morehouse and Kone and Aiden Heaven are your three most likely. That's what I would say. Morehouse, Kone, and Aiden Heaven have the best chance to come. Yeah, I mean, look, now's the time. Honestly, now's the time for like something to happen. It is Jack. Okay, okay, thank you. I didn't think I was mixing it up, but I was getting myself. Yeah, I mean, now's the time. If we're gonna pull something off, if we're gonna get youth through, if we're gonna see something from some of these kids, like, why not now? Honestly, I mean, look, we're playing the 15th place team. All right, we're playing the 15th place team. So, so be it, right? We're playing the 15th place team. It's not like this is like some team that's been incredible in the league. It's Tottenham. Got to tell you guys, it does feel like ever since we sold Fred, though, all of our luck has gone. That first season under Ten Hag, we had good injury luck. We had players in form, and it all fell apart. It's been a disaster since Pastor Fred has left. We could use a player like him today. I think Fred would still be one of our best midfielders today. Could you imagine him? Could you imagine him in the midfield these days? I could. But yeah, it's a big game. It's a big game. I'm gonna be doing a watch along over on Big Up. Fred's better than most of the midfielders. He 100% is. We could use a player like him today. The funny thing is just how much he suits this Amarim team too, as that, like, if you put not as the 6, right? But if you put like that freewheeling 8, not as the 6. He does not have any discipline for deep sticks, and that was always the mistake too. But if you let him roam free as that 8, that all action 8 who can get up by the box, who can attack as that second midfielder, he would be absolutely incredible in that role. He would be our best midfielder in that role. He would have done really, really well there. and the out of possession intensity that he brought, nobody else brings that. When in that first season when he was playing as a left 8, he did really, really well. He's had a good role there. But anyway, it is it is what it is. I will miss Fred, but it's more so the attitude, the energy that I miss more than anything. There's a lot of players who don't do that. And I think that was one of the funniest things I gotta say about United fans, right? Is the cycles of what people clamor for. Like, people sit there and say, I hate, this team, nobody cares, nobody tries, nobody works hard, lazy, entitled, and then the players that play their hardest every second get chased out of the club too. So it is what it is. Fred was one of those. Fred was one of I think Fred's a player that if we had a much better team, he would have been remembered a lot differently if we'd had a much better team, because there's a type of player you want to have in a very good squad, but not necessarily a starter on a regular basis. But he had some huge games against very, very good teams. But yeah, I mean, fuck it, right? Today, let's look at it. It's I mean, you know, we're 14th, we're playing 15th, so it is. We bought him from Shakhtar, yeah. Jim hated Fred. Just proves Sir Jim doesn't know ball. He shouldn't be making football decisions. But anyway, what do we got to lose? Honestly, again, I think the actual starting lineup is okay. I think this is okay. I think this is a team that can win this game, and should. I think we should be able to beat this team. I think we should be able to beat Spurs with this. But I am excited to see if we can bring some on and kick on. And look, we've got a week till Saturday, our next game against Everton, right? Yeah, I got to tell you, man, when I look at it, when I look at the team, though, like, when you look at what we need here, we need you replace Kenda over here. Obviously, Ugarte would be playing in here. Kenda, a striker, and listen, if Garnacho doesn't kick on, like, here's my point on the matter on this, right? What I was saying about Garnacho, if Jorgo's warming up as a left wing back, we have a chance. Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. We have a chance. We have a chance. If he's actually warming up on the left. Yes. 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 We have a shot. We are alive. We are alive. We are alive. But no, honestly, like, come summer, get Kenda in here. But if this is my point on Garnacho, right? If he's not good enough to step up through the rest of the season when we need him probably most in attack, and he's probably our most talented forward, then sell him in summer and go get Cunha day one, man. Trigger that fucking release clause. You sell him and you buy Cunha day one. Day one. You don't even think about it. You go get Cunha. Because getting an actual PL experienced player who can bang goals from that position and fits like a glove into this team and system, you don't even think about it. You go get a striker and you go get Cunha, and instantly the attack is transformed. Ahmad, Cunha, a striker. You go from having maybe one of the worst front threes to one of the best front threes in the league at that point in time. And that's how quick we have to be ruthless. We have to be ruthless in fixing this team. But like obviously the same goes for any of these three, mind you. Any goes for any of these three, mind you. But if you're getting a Kenda at wing back and Ahmad will be here next season in the front line, you sell any of these players if they do not kick on really hard for the rest of the season, and you go get Cunha and a striker. You just do it. You just do it. You just go for it. You just do it. Garnacho, the best young player in our squad, just to buy a random person. All right. So if he is the best young player in our squad, then he should be scoring goals now for the rest of the season. That's fair. And if he does, then he can prove that moniker. I feel like that has to be satire, though. I hope that's satire. Um, oh man. But yeah, I mean, but that's how quickly we could transform this attack. Because look, our back three and our back five and our midfield really isn't that bad. Honestly, it's not. Our attack is absolutely horrendous. But even today, like, it's not like our back three is good. We have Dorgu now. We'll have Leon in summer. We need another right wing back. We have Ugarte. We have Bruno. We need another midfielder for sure. But a midfielder we need to transform that attack, and we have to be so ruthless financially. Sell Rashford for 40 million, sell Garnacho for 50 million, right? That's 90 million in profit. You go buy like Osimhen and Cunha, and you have Osimhen and Cunha and Ahmad, and your front three is one of the best in the league immediately. That just can get you guaranteed goals every single game. You're told Amarim's job is in real danger. You think so? I don't think they can afford for his job to be in danger, Angie. I don't think we can afford for him to be in danger. Now, I got to ask you guys something. I want another little point. James Trafford. People weren't so hot on him when we brought him up before. And United have been talking to him about a move for goalkeeper this summer. Apparently, he's playing really well for Burnley as a keeper. How is he? Has anybody actually watched James Trafford in recent times? Just by the way, because I was just remembering because my attention went on it yesterday because Hannibal Mejbri obviously went through like some sort of racial abuse incident yesterday while playing for Burnley, and and I saw some posts from Trafford and things like that. So that was totally kind of separate issue. But then I've been seeing more posts about James Trafford since then. And apparently he's doing really well. 10 clean sheets in a row. They haven't conceded. Yeah, this is the stat. Someone posted it in Discord a minute ago. They haven't conceded since the 21st of December. 11 consecutive clean sheets for Burnley. We like him, so I wouldn't be surprised if we went for him this summer too. And that doesn't mean necessarily replacing Onana, but replacing one of our keepers so we have more competition. How old is James Trafford? Is he like still like under 25? Because I mean keepers are keepers, like it's you can't necessarily say. Chevalier, I like. PSG are gonna go for him, I think. That's what it sounds like. 22. Oh shit. I mean, if he's 22, then I mean that's a obviously clean sheets is not just on the keeper, but 22. I mean, for a keeper, if he's anyway, it's just one to keep an eye on because we do want a keeper. Newcastle, yes, but I think that he would be yes. He didn't want to join us because he didn't want to cut him as backup. Like he didn't want to join us for that reason. because he didn't want to come as backup. But maybe come summer, he can come in as the first choice keeper. But he's 22, so play a very negative style. But wouldn't that mean he makes a lot of saves? You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not. I don't know what that means. You know what does that mean though? Does he make a lot of saves? Because it's with keepers, it's hard to it's different to. So his expected goals versus goals against is in the top of the hold on here. I'm gonna pull just randomly here because we got 15 minutes till the game starts. I'm gonna switch over. Um, this is one of the stats that I think is really important. It's post shot expected goals minus goals. I know that's like woke nonsense, the amount of like how complicated stats can be, but like that's generally the the main stat of like, are you saving the chances that you should? You know what I mean? I mean he's got, then again, like this generally means he saves a hell of a lot of shots. Like basically that's what that means. He's got high ratings for defensive actions outside the penalty area. So does he sweep? Massive goalkeeper save shots. Okay. I mean that's fair enough for me. I mean, anyway, they're interested, so I guess we'll see. This keeper, his name's John. John from Brazil. Their goalkeeper, John. Okay. Anyway, saving a lot of shots. No, but saving them compared to the expected goals against is usually a good measure. Because it means on average you're saving more than the shots you should. Because remember, XG is just an average, right? So what this means usually is that you're saving more goals than you should, like on average. So that's generally a good stat. I mean, from what I recall, last year Onana was good there. This year he's exactly on 0. That means that he's letting, for the last 365 days, Onana's doing nothing. Like he's doing exactly average in terms of goalkeeping on average. He's letting in, and that's, I think, had been pretty bad this year. So yeah, I mean, wait, here we go. Hold on, look. Like you can see, like, oh, it doesn't really show enough stats to see. Whatever, doesn't matter. I'm getting distracted again. Chevalier. Okay, there he is. Right, Chevalier. So that says he's also above average as saving goals as well. Not a lot of sweeping actions though. Not a lot of sweeping actions. Can't save a goal, but you can. That's that deep. Or Wheeler saying 6 weeks. All right. Well, let's give it before we react to that. Let's give it like a good hour, and let's see if that's correct. I'm guessing that he asked, and now that in clarification they said about 6 weeks. That makes sense. Fair. Okay. So it's probably a hamstring injury. I mean, it could be a calf, but more like De Gea, but has Ederson type of passing. I mean, sweeping action should be calculated with the type. Yeah, yeah. All right. I'm gonna end it here. Come join me over on Big Up, guys. They're in like 5 minutes. Start the watch along for Okay. Um, the link's below, but join me. It's a good time, fun time. This is the direct link. I hope to see you there. Hey, I mean, let's see. We need some players to step up today, and we hopefully will see some youth debut as well. But you know, when the chips are down, we've had a lot of games like this over the years where we thought there was no hope, and we've pulled it off. So let's see if today, you know, today's one of those moments like that can feel really, really soul crushing, or it can be, um, or it can be like a turnaround. You know, like y'all remember just one last thing. You remember, well, when was it? I don't know. Maybe it was under Solskjaer. We had a couple games like that where it was like we're definitely gonna lose, and then we ended up winning some big games in a row, and things kind of turned around from there. So you know, with everything going on right now, obviously people are expecting us to lose, but it's not going to change the overreactions if we do. Not going to change the overreactions. But I think we do need to. I think we do need a win. I think a win would have a big difference, not in like fixing the whole season or something like that, because the season's over, guys. I mean, honestly, the season's pretty dead. But just and we need some hope for things moving forward. And I think we could get that with a win, with some youth, with things like that. I think we can get that. It's not a game turnaround, but there is hope. There is hope. Okay, everybody. I will see you all later. Come join me on Big Up. I'll be live in about 5 minutes. Okay.